Hey everybody, this is GGB co-host Puppers is right over there, and today we're going to be getting into the third wild card matchup. We got the Independent Chiefs. We got the Conference USA Vikings. If you're wondering why the Conference USA Vikings, it's because their defensive coordinator went to FIU. If you're wondering why the Chiefs are the Independent Chiefs, it's because Andy Reid went to, wait for it, BYU. So this is the game that I thought is going to be the closest because I've always loved Conference USA. They've always kept it really close with the Big 12, which I think is a significant achievement. But I don't know, the MAC kind of did it today. But although they weren't even kind of close near the end. But there's major reasons why I'm excited. Number one, you move up, and moving up a seed might seem not a huge deal, but it's a huge deal. There's a difference between playing the Big 12 and the Independents. There's a huge difference. The Independents are nowhere near as good as the Big 12 can be, and they're scary offensively. And then you have the second reason. I don't know why I stuttered there. The second reason I love the Conference USA this year is the offense changed. They went from the Cowboys last year to the Vikings, and the Vikings fit this team really well because Mike Zimmer loves to run it. And you know what they have on their team? They have Aaron Jones. So there's a reason why this team has the potential for being so good. You have Aaron Jones, you have T.Y. Hilton. So Will Fuller is back here to return this. I think it might be Golden Tate. I don't know, man. I think it's probably Will Fuller. But Chris Boswell out to kick this ball away. It goes to the end zone, and I think that is Will Fuller. So he takes a knee here. No, I think that's Golden Tate. I'm going to go back and forth on this until I know. But Taysom Hill is out to take the field. And 2019 stats isn't going to be great because he didn't throw many passes last year. The stats would be the 2020 stats where Taysom Hill actually got to see a stretch of what it was. I think it was 4 games, might have been 3 games. I think it was 4 games though. I think he went 3-1, where he was the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. I think so it's going to be interesting. I think this is Taysom's probably last year starting. Zach Wilson's coming into the league next year. He'll probably be the starter next year, not to mention that Ian Book will also become probably Deshaun Kaiser's last year on the roster, if we're going to be honest. But Taysom Hill takes the snap. He has time to scramble, and he does scramble, but he gets sacked by Vinny Curry. And this defensive line for the Conference USA Vikings, you got to look at because you have some big names players in there. You got Vinny Curry. Now, he's a defensive end, but on rushing plays, he's going to play the rushing defensive tackle position. You also have Trey Hendrickson, as you can see there. There's Marcus Davenport coming from the other side. There's Larry Ogunjobi. There's a lot of big-time rushing names on this list at rushing the passer. Now, the offensive line, if you went over it in my other video where we went over the rosters and the rules, it's a very good offensive line. It's a very solid offensive line. So it's going to be interesting to see that great defensive line go up against that great offensive line. So Taysom Hill goes shotgun again. Looks like he was going to hand off to Jamal Williams, but it was a play action, and Taysom Hill scrambled out. But he ends up only rushing for 6 yards because of the quarterback spy, bringing up a 3rd and 5. Good play by Jamie Collins there. It's probably their weakest spot is probably middle linebacker. They have some great corners. There's some really good safety play. Linebacker is probably their weakness because I really think defensive line is probably their strength. Defensively, they have a solid unit defensively, if I'm going to be honest. Taysom Hill goes empty set here in the shotgun formation. He takes the snap. They bring a 4-man rush, and there's a lot of blockers. He fires it. It was a nice completion to, I believe that's my guy, Golden Tate. Is it Golden Tate? It is Will Fuller. So it wasn't Will Fuller returning. It was Golden Tate. I'm almost 100% positive in that now. So Golden Tate's the return man for the Independent Chiefs, and that was a big play because otherwise you go easy 3 and out to begin. You get the ball to the Conference USA offense, which I'll go over later, and I'm really excited to see that Conference USA offense. But you can see Jonathan Cyprien coming in there to make the play. You have some really good safeties in Xavier Woods, Jonathan Cyprien. You also have some really good corners. L'Jarius Sneed, off the top of my head, is a very solid corner out of Louisiana Tech. But they go shotgun again here. It looks like they're going to go first handoff to Jamal Williams. Big hole, picks up 9 yards, almost a first down, actually 10 yards, but it's 2nd and inches. So, yeah, you can see some of the great players there. Vernon Butler Jr. is also a very good, solid defensive tackle for them. Now, these players probably won't be on the defensive tackles aren't going to be on the field likely if they're just mainly worried about rushing the passer. Vinny Curry is going to take up one of those spots. But Taysom Hill goes shotgun again. Another handoff here to Jamal Williams. And the offensive line is providing some really good running games for... Actually, that was Theo Riddick. I don't know if Theo Riddick I'm sorry, I was announced that wrong. Jamal Williams is normally the number one primary ball carrier for this team because he went to BYU. He's a pretty solid running back. But Theo Riddick, kind of their kind of scat back, kind of like Antonio Gibson's role. If you've been watching the series for a decent amount of time with the American Steelers, Theo Riddick kind of serves that same role for the independent Chiefs. So they go play action here with Taysom Hill. He has forever to scan the field. He just decides to scramble, and he gets to take a big hit. Bigs up a 2nd and 1. Now, the independent Chiefs have been able to drive this field. A lot of that's coming on the ground. Only one completion so far for Taysom Hill. That was the big completion on 3rd down. They bring their fullback on the field. I believe that's Anthony Sherman out of UConn. Again, they pick up UConn players for just about a year. They go run. Again, big hole for, I believe that's Jamal Williams this time. First rush of the game for 12 yards for them. And honestly, this is what they should do offensively. A lot of runs. I think it works very well. The defensive tackle position is not as good as the defensive end position for the Conference USA Vikings. So I think running the ball makes a lot of sense here. And you could see that very early on, Jamal Williams and Theo Riddick has had great success doing that so far. Hello. But this has been a really interesting drive. They've really only had one completion offensively to Will Fuller. Let's see if they bring a little blitz here. They've been yet to be able to really rattle Taysom Hill that much. So he, again, has a long time to scan the field. He fires it. That's going to be just short of the end zone. Great play. Great throw to Chase Claypool on that play. And he's going to be the number 3 receiver. You're going to see him a decent amount. He made some big-time plays. Not in the playing game, but I had some of these teams play each other in like 5-minute quarters just to see who they were and how they were going to do. But let's see if the independent Chiefs can punch this one again against the Conference USA Vikings. They bring Anthony Sherman onto the field once again. A good UConn player. Again, 1-year rental. And, man, Jamal Williams just walks into that end zone. But early, 7-0 lead, or maybe, although it's not going to be a guarantee for the independent Chiefs at all. If you didn't watch my Conference of Champions rules and roster, the independents technically do not have a kicker in the NFL at the moment. So what I did was I made the worst kicker in the NFL their kicker, meaning Justin Yoon, a kicker out of Notre Dame. But nothing's going to be guaranteed with this kicker all night. Deshaun Kaiser looks like he's going to be set to take the hold here. He does. It's up. It's through. So Justin Yoon hits an extra point, which it's possible he misses one of those tonight. It's possible he misses a field goal. He's not the best kicker in the world. Actually, he's the worst kicker in the entire Madden game. So the independent Chiefs had that early 3rd down. It definitely looked like the Conference USA might get him off the field. But after that, it was a pretty easy drive for the independent Chiefs. You got to do better if you're the defense for the Conference USA Vikings. But we're going to get to see our first look at the Conference USA Vikings offense. It's something I'm really excited to look at because it has a lot of great, really solid players on it, like Aaron Jones, Devin Singletary, T.Y. Hilton, Tyler Higbee. A lot of really good players. Jack Doyle. A lot of great players on this team. And T.Y. Hilton is set to get this kickoff return. I think that's their punter. They're not going to have great kickoff returns all night, kickoffs all night, because their punter is not all that good for them as well. He just existed in Madden, which is what makes him the better kickoff returner. Kickoff specialist. Plus, he's a little bit better, but I think he's in the 60s as well. But Nick Mullins is coming out to take the field. He didn't see the field at all in 2019, mainly because Jimmy Garoppolo did not get hurt. But he served as the main backup whenever Jimmy Garoppolo does get hurt. Now, his role is, I believe he went to Jacksonville. Oh, no, maybe I don't know. He went somewhere else this offseason because they drafted Trey Lance, and he would be bumped to the number 3 spot. He wanted to be a number 2 quarterback somewhere. But Nick Mullins is a pretty solid quarterback. They bring one tight end out so they can run the ball with Aaron Jones. And really, this is the offense that I kind of expect from them. Really solid run by Aaron Jones. And this is the offense you kind of run. Nick Mullins isn't the strongest quarterback in the world. Kyle Allen showed that you can win with almost win. They did not win without the best quarterback, or even a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL. But this is probably going to be our only game between. Actually, it's 100% going to be our only game between two teams without starting level quarterback. Hey, everybody, sorry again for the interruption. Dang it. But my phone ran out of storage once again. I wish my phone didn't have such little storage, but, you know, that's what you get. But the Conference USA Vikings, they haven't been exactly driving here. They've just kind of been surviving, I guess is the way to put it. The DPI definitely helped them out, because otherwise that was going to be a pick. And I do think that was DPI, and I thought it was before the flag was even thrown. But you kind of need to have a little bit of better offensive production. And I think the Vikings kind of format will fit perfectly with this Conference USA team, because their strength really is in the run game and Aaron Jones. So let's see, they go and they throw it, and it's just an inaccurate pass by Nick Mullins. And it's just, if you're going to try and win this game throwing the ball, you're just not going to do it. The Independent Chiefs will beat you every time, because the defense for this Independent Chiefs team is actually really solid. You look at players like Fred Warner, and again, I mentioned it, but Jalen Smith, Romeo Kawara. But I mentioned it because these players are really good. Andrew Sendejo. A lot of great players on this Independent Chiefs team. So they go play action here, but Nick Mullins is quickly hit, and that's going to be another incomplete pass. Brings it up a 3rd and 10, and for a guy that has yet to complete a pass, this isn't the ideal situation to be put in where you have to throw the ball. Julian Love is probably the weakest part of this defense. The defensive tackle position is not great. So running the ball really should have been, and you could see the first play they ran the ball, it worked out extremely well, but they haven't run the ball since. So Nick Mullins has time to scan the field, although he's getting pressured here. He scrambles out. Let's see if he picks up the first down, but he has ended up tackled and fumbled. There's a fumble on the field, and the Independent Chiefs pick it up. Ooh, he's going. Is he going to be able to bring it back for a touchdown? I think it is going to be a 14-0 lead early for the Independent Chiefs. Touchdown. Hi, mister. I believe that's Julian Love. And just like I was making fun of him, he's probably the weakest part of this defense. And, yeah, the Arrowhead Stadium's a rocking, because Julian Love brings it back for a touchdown. I really thought he might have been down before he fumbled that ball. I think it might be reviewed, maybe overturned. I don't know if they're going to review it, though. It doesn't look like they're going to review it. And it looks like the Independent Chiefs are going to take an early 14-0 lead against the Conference USA Vikings. And, I mean, that's not the ideal scenario if you're the Conference USA Vikings fan. I really thought they had a chance this year, and if they keep playing like this, they're going to have zero chance. It's going to be more of a blowout than at every game so far if they keep playing like this. Now, it is possible to come back from 14 down. I mean, Mac almost came back from down 17 in the fourth quarter. I mean, Chiefs in real life came back from 28 points down in a quarter. So it depends entirely on how you play offensively, but Nick Mullins has to not make really bad decisions. That just needs to be part of it. You cannot suck at making decisions here, and this is a big game. Conference USA first time has a chance to play the Independents, which Independents are a tough team, but they're nowhere near as tough as a team like the FCS Division II, Division III, or the Big 12. Just the overall are like there's a distinct difference between those two. So they kick it off, and it looks like T.Y. Hilton's going to get another chance to return it. He runs up the field and gets to about the 30-yard line, and you're going to get it about the 30-yard line every time, because you're going to be able to grab it at about the 5, and you normally can get about 25 yards on a return. So here comes T.Y. Hilton again. He has not been able to get anything going offensively, but, I mean, just the first drive, there's not much to point to there, but Nick Mullins kind of made a horrible mistake by not sliding there and making sure that he did not get a big hit on him. Now, Conference USA before, I've watched them playing in a little just game for me to watch, so I learned some of the players, and Travis Fulgham was a huge part in why they ended up winning a game. So Travis Fulgham has got to be a good part offensively. Aaron Jones should be a huge part, and so they go little dump-off pass to number 88. I don't think that's Travis Fulgham, and I don't think that's T.Y. Hilton. It's Richie James Jr. Richie James Jr. just decides to, no one's about to hit him, so he just kind of grabs it and then rolls on the ground for a little bit. That was the weirdest thing ever. But they bring a tight end on for this play, and they're going to look like it's going to be a run to Aaron Jones, which please finally run it to Aaron Jones. And now they go play action again, and Nick Mullins is immediately pressured, and it's going to be a sack by Ziggy Ansah, but Ziggy Ansah ends up, is it a sack? I think it's a sack by Ziggy Ansah, but he ends up getting hurt on the play, which is not good if you're an Independent Chiefs fan. I mean, if you make it past this round and you want to upset, which I believe everything works out the way I expect it to, you want to upset the ACC Buccaneers in the next round, you kind of have to have Ziggy Ansah. He's one of your best defensive players, and to lose him, he's one of your better pass rushers. To lose him for more than a game would really suck. Even if you think you have this Conference USA one under wraps, Ziggy Ansah is really a key part to beating any team in the next round. So 3rd and 13, again, down 14-0. You don't want to give it back to this offense, but you also don't want to commit a turnover again. Nick Mullins, they bring a little bit of blitz. He throws it downfield, and it's going to be inaccurate. I believe that one was to Richie James Jr. again. It looks like it's going to be a punt, although it looks like they're huddling up offensively, so who knows? I don't quite understand sometimes. There's Kyle Van Noy. You can definitely know some of these players' names just by watching some NFL. So they're going to punt this one away. I believe that's Jack Fox back there to punt this one away. And he's going to put them all the way to about the 35-yard line where there's a quick tackle. And actually 26-yard line. I don't know why I thought it was the 35-yard line. By Golden Tate gets tackled rather quickly, I should say. And here comes Will Fuller and Taysom Hill in this offense. And if you could not be asked to put into a better situation. And a lot of their success in the past few years has come off of their defense. Their defense has been so rock solid over the past few years. That's really been they've cakewalked against the MAC. They cakewalked against the American 2 years ago. And you're hoping, if you're an independent Chiefs fan, or really if you're a Notre Dame fan, BYU has contributed a little bit of players. There's one player from Army, a little bit from UConn and UMass, but that's really it. It's mostly Notre Dame. But Taysom Hill, he does a little bit of a little pitch pass to, I believe that is Chase Claypool on that play, and it's going to be a tackle for a loss by Marcus Davenport. Now, I really expect to get a little bit of pressure. The defensive ends are probably the best position on this team for the Vikings. I mean, you have Trey Hendrickson, Marcus Davenport. They're both 80 and 79 overall players. They're some of your better players on this team. So it's going to be really interesting. I think that I always think the Conference USA has a chance at upsetting their team, but the Independents has just been able to roll over teams in the wild card round every year. So we're going to see if the Conference USA can actually hold up a chance. So Taysom Hill does a little dump off pass to Theo Riddick, who does a little spin move, did a little spin move, pick up 13 yards in that first down. And linebackers they kind of have to be a little bit better. They really do. Neville, Hewitt, O'Shane Azimenes, they need to be able to cover the running backs and tight ends a little bit better. Now, tight ends haven't been a big threat. You get to see Kyle Rudolph catch a pass. It's really been the running game that's killed them, but that's a lot part on the linebackers, too. Linebackers kind of need to stuff the run. So, four-man rush, Taysom Hill throws, and it's inaccurate. You're going to see a lot of that this game. There's a reason why some of these players are not starting caliber quarterbacks in the NFL. It's because they kind of make throws like that, where the guy's open. It's the only chance we're going to see if two teams with starting level quarterbacks in the NFL, other than this one, would be somehow if this team wins, goes a long way, and somehow the Sun Belt goes a long way too, and they end up meeting each other. But Taysom Hill's going to take this snap. I don't think this is going to be a run here. I don't know what I'm saying. This ends up being a run to Jamal Williams. Actually, oh my God, I'm an idiot. That's Theo Riddick. But 3rd and 3. I don't know what the Vikings Conference USA has got to do something here. They're just the last position. They just drove down the field. You cannot go down 21-0 early. That's really bad. And this is probably going to be a run here. The way that they've had success running this ball, I think you sell out against the run if you're the Conference USA Vikes. They don't, and they ended up not passing. And Chase Claypool's just breaking off tackles, gets it up to about the 44-yard line of the Vikings side of the field, and if you're the Conference USA Vikings. I expected the defense to be a little bit better, but the offense has been really disappointing so far. Really all-around disappointment with the Conference USA Vikings. But I got to give credit where credit is due. The independent Chiefs, I always thought it was just a matchup issue against the MAC. I always thought maybe it was the American, because the American and the MAC have never been particularly good. Conference USA has held their own against the Big 12 every year, and it's just seemed easy so far for the independent Chiefs. Another run by Theo Riddick. It's been interesting how Theo Riddick's been involved. I didn't expect him to be. I thought maybe second string running back, maybe get a couple carries in this game. He seemed to be the primary ball carrier for this team so far. Now, Jamal Williams has had a decent amount of carries for them, but Theo Reddick's been very important. So they bring 2 tight ends on the field, probably Kyle Eifert and Rudolph. They split out Jamal Williams wide, and he throws it to, I believe that is Kyle Rudolph on that play, number 88. So he picks up the first down, and they're already... Tyler Eifert. I'm sorry. Sorry, Tyler Eifert. I forgot. I expected it to be Kyle Rudolph because he's the best tight end on this team, but it was Tyler Eifert. But they're already at the 30-yard line. The best scenario for this Vikings team is likely going down 17-0 early, which is not great. So it's time. He throws it. He threw it to Will Fuller, picks up yet another first down for them. And it's just not been going well. When they want to run it, the run's there. When they want to pass it, the pass is there. Again, it's like, what is it, 6 for 7 so far for the independent Chiefs? I mean, anytime they want anything, they just have it. They bring Anthony Sherman onto the field to run this ball. Actually, they go play action here. No, they do. They run it. I thought they were going to go play action, the way they're setting that up. But a nice tackle in the backfield by Larry Ogunjobi. Force of 4-yard loss. Brings him to the 22-yard line. I don't know what the heck the screen is doing at the moment. Going all black on me here. What are you doing? There we go. Defense. Woo! Just a lot of gray screen before. I haven't been a lot of things to be excited about early. There was the early sack by Vinny Curry, but everything else has just been not good for the Conference USA Vikings. So let's see if they can stop them here. Maybe force a field goal, maybe only a 17-0. Maybe Justin Yoon misses it. He's not a great field goal kicker, as I said before. But he lines up shotgun. Taysom Hill has a decent amount of time. He scrambles out of the pocket. He's going to scramble. He's going to get it. Oh, he fumbled the ball after being a truck. And, Bryce Callahan recovers it. And it's going to be Conference USA ball. Absolutely the best case scenario if you were. But big hit by Xavier Woods caused that. And Xavier Woods had a big hit on Taysom Hill before. And I thought maybe it would have been a fumble, but it was not. But Xavier Woods provides the hit. This time it is a fumble. And the Conference USA Vikings is going to get great field position, but at least they made sure they did not score at all. Now they're only down 14-0. But run the ball. That's all I have to say, Conference USA Vikings. Run the ball. You have one of the best running backs in the entire NFL in Aaron Jones. Run the ball. I mean, the Vikings are normally a team that runs the ball a lot with Dalvin Cook. Run the ball with Aaron Jones. But that one didn't work. But, getting, I would say, about a yard. But Fatukasi, one of their defensive tackles, ends up stuffing them. And I thought the matchup was there between Fatukasi and I think Nate Davis. But they bring 3 tight ends on the field again. Maybe they're going to stick with this running play. Maybe they go play action here. But they end up going run again. And, nice little spin move. But only ends up getting him about 5 yards, bringing up a 3rd and 5 here. But it's going to be a tackle for probably no loss if he didn't do that. Nice little spin move. And it's going to be a 3rd and 5 for this early Conference USA Vikings team. And you cannot punt it back to this offense. Your defense got a huge turnover. But I don't know if they're going to be able to do that again. They just seem to be driving. And they got lucky, but because if Taysom Hill had just slid, they would have been inside the 5 with a 1st and 10. So they go screen here to Aaron Jones. He has a lot of running room, and he's going to end up picking the first down and probably about 4 more after that. Great play call. You knew they were going to bring some pressure there, and it turned out to work out perfectly for this Conference USA Vikings offense. And Aaron Jones, he can be involved in the passing game as well. He's not bad at that at all. Devin Singletary might see the field a little bit too as well. Conference USA Vikings have a good stable of running backs. Boston Scott could see the field if they're going to use the passing game as well. So Nick Mullins goes under center. It might be another run to Aaron Jones. And Aaron Jones picks up about 6 yards in that play. And if you pick up 6 yards every play, guess what? You're going to get first downs after about 2 plays. So the offense works. The offensive style of just running the ball over and over again and doing a little bit of play action off of it, throwing it to your tight ends, it works for the Minnesota Vikings in real life, and it should work for the Conference USA Vikings, especially with this team that is made up. They were the Cowboys last year, and the Cowboys kind of rely a lot on the run. I mean, on the pass. So the Vikings should be the perfect fit for this team. Oh, nice move by Aaron Jones, and he's going to pick up a lot more. 14 yards on the play that should have been a tackle for about no gain. He just got out of that one, and Harrison Smith provided a big hit, but oh, man, was that an electric move by Aaron Jones. You can watch this replay. Oof, put a 25 on skates out here. What a play by my guy Aaron Jones. Now, I think this is going to be interesting. If they can keep doing this offensively, by the way, they've driven enough that they're not going to give the independent Chiefs the ball right back, give their defense a little bit of time to rest. Plus, they were able to make sure they wouldn't be in a horrible field position. They go play action here, but oh, they fumbled it. Another fumble by Nick Mullins, and now they're in horrible field position, and it's the second fumble of the game in the first quarter. Second fumble in the first quarter by Nick Mullins. 3 fumbles have happened so far in this game. That is pretty crazy. 4 turnovers so far in the first quarter. That is crazy talk. That's an insane amount of turnovers. That's like the amount of turnovers you normally have in a game is 4 turnovers overall. There's been 4 in the first quarter. That's really bad. Actually, not 4 turnovers. What? No, it hasn't been because Nick Mullins hasn't thrown it. 3 turnovers. There's been 3 fumbles so far. Taysom Hill has a fumble and Nick Mullins has 2 fumbles. Yet to throw a pick. I was remembering the pick that was called DPI though. Taysom Hill steps back to throw. They bring a 3-man rush with the quarterback spying him, and the guy that was supposed to be covering Will Fuller fell down, and the flag route was there for a 3rd reception for Will Fuller, and he's just been on fire early. This is why you don't let Nick Mullins do anything offensively, because look at what he's done so far. He's fumbled twice. I mean, it's not like Taysom Hill where he's fumbled once, sure, but he's also provided a little bit of spark offensively. I don't know if he's completed a pass. He completed the screen pass. I'm sorry. Nick Mullins has completed a pass. It was a screen pass, but it hasn't been going well for Nick Mullins early on. Maybe you can hold him to a field goal here again if you're the Conference USA Vikings. So they take a one-handed snap there. He ends up getting tackled for no loss or a sack for Vinny Curry. 2nd sack of the game for Vinny Curry, who's been doing extremely well playing at that rush defensive tackles position. I mean, Taysom Hill just keeps running into him. He'll just take the sack every time. He gets credit for that. Fortunately, he's not one of those superstar X Factor abilities where if you get enough sacks, then you get like special abilities. But he's been able to tackle. He's probably been the only player that's been able to stop Taysom Hill early on. Vinny Curry. You only see the field on rushing downs where they're trying to get after the QB. He plays rushing defensive tackle. He's the backup defensive end for Trey Hendrickson and Marcus Davenport. But he's been able to get to him because Taysom Hill keeps running straight to him. But Taysom Hill's in the shotgun here with, I believe, Theoretic right behind him. Chase Claypool goes in motion. He fakes to Chase Claypool, who's just held up by that defensive player. What a defensive play. But Taysom Hill's able to break out of that. He fumbles again, but it's picked up this time by Kyle Rudolph. Maybe don't take those hits every time, Taysom Hill, if you want to, number one, stay healthy, because if you get hurt, then Deshaun Kaiser has to come into the game, which is not ideal if you are the independent Chiefs and you want to win this football game. Big hit again, and oh my gosh, they're just lucky that Kyle Rudolph was the only one in the area that was not in purple and white, and he's the one that ended up getting nice heads-up play by Kyle Rudolph, but first and goal. I mean, the luck worked out for him there. Let's see if we're going to be able to get to see the end of this drive before the first quarter ends and this episode is over. 35 seconds left. Kyle Rudolph goes in motion. They go fake handoff to Kyle. Ooh, quick hit in the backfield by Jamal Williams. And they've been able to really stuff Jamal Williams early. And what's interesting is the Packers running backs against each other. If you didn't know, Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams were on the same team for a lot of their careers. They're not anymore, technically speaking, because Jamal Williams went to Detroit in real life. But Xavier Woods has been a presence early. He's the second worst. He's the worst starting safety. I mean, statistically, overall wise. But he has made a big impact here early on. 12 seconds left. We're probably going to get one more play at the end of this quarter. 8 seconds. Taysom Hill goes shotgun here. Jamal Williams lined up beside him. He goes handoff Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams runs up the middle, and he gets about 4 yards before being tackled. Hey everybody, this is GGB. We'll see you in the next episode of the Conference USA at the Independent Chiefs.